Reviewers have started pointing out this lack of women in the text, though. Lynn Barber, for example, says it's the biggest lacuna in the book, and says further all his romantic sentiment is directed at men. Martin Amis most gushingly,
yes.
It is a love whose month is ever May.
That's right. I set out to answer a question that I never had understood needed to be asked before, which is, can you have a heterosexual relationship with a bloke? I don't think anyone has ever asked it in that form before. And in my long chapter about my dearest friend Martin, that's really the question I'm setting myself. Can you, so to speak, be in love with someone for quite a long time without there being anything sexual about it, or not ostensibly so? Well, I'm not even sure I've come up with the right answer.
It is a brave thing to do, because men, as you say, tend not to write about men using those terms, especially not the word love.
Well, what surprised me most was...
Certainly not in a heterosexual context.
No. What surprised me most about Martin, about whom, if he was ever to write a book that was just about women, it would still be going on, I mean, it would still be being published, is that he uses the same terms, again, unaffectedly, without embarrassment, about love. So I thought, well, love is always a good subject. And when my publisher said to me, there's too much about sex in this book and not enough about love, I thought, well, you could put that on the jacket.
But they
said, actually, that's not true.
Why did they simply say sex sells?
There's a lot about love, except that it's just for a chap, and it's not sexual. So you can't, here's what I've learned, you can't please everybody.
You do enter the confessional.
Try as I may.
You do enter the confessional at times, metaphorically, obviously, in this memoir. For example, you describe same-sex encounters at your English public school. On one occasion, you bravely state this, it was your first exposure to love as well as sex.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, the reason I decided to put that in is two things. One, yes, it's about love, and in my case, a sort of first love. And the second, because so many people I know could put this in their memoirs or their accounts of themselves and don't. And so at a time when homosexuality is being partly criminalized by people in the country where I live, in the United States, or it's being very much defamed, I thought it might be a good thing if more people said, come on, a lot of people know at least a bit about what it's like to be gay. Don't let's pretend it's a minority thing just. So it was a form of solidarity, in a way, and I think the way I put it is to say that homosexuality is a form of love as well as a form of sex, and deserves respect in that way, for that reason.
Yeah, so it had a serious, you thought you needed to say that.
Yes.
That you should actually force yourself
whereas if I said,
put it down.
Whereas if I said I once had a girlfriend who's now very famous because she's the editor of a well-known women's magazine and so on, and some reviewers have pointed this out, I couldn't really see why that would be so interesting. And well, we began with insecurity. One of my insecurities is I'm terrified of being boring, as I'm terrified of being bored. So I thought anything that's only put in perhaps to make me look good or for its own sake, I can't be sure I'd hold the reader's attention.
Oh, look, I'm sure you're holding the reader's attention most of the time, particularly through that chapter.